So welcome. It's so excited to have all of you here for today's Speaker Showcase event. I'm excited to see so many gorgeous faces from all around the world and see in the chat from where you're joining. I know some of our audience are joining from as far as Australia, some of our audience based in Europe and the UK, and of course across US, Canada, Caribbean. So from all around the world, seeing your beautiful faces today to light up the room. It's not in a physical room, but it's in a virtual room, and it's just as amazing. As you know, behind the Women Thrive Summit and behind the Women Thrive initiative, it is all about empowering women, for all of us to come together, to share our messages, to share our voices. Because it's not always that women had a voice. It's not always that women felt empowered or had a safe space to do this. So through our platform, through our community initiatives and events that we do, we try to make sure that everyone is welcome in our space, that everyone feels safe, supported, encouraged, and heard. So this is the kind of environment and community that we want to foster. And today you are here to hear stories of inspiring and amazing stories of 10 speakers, 10 from the 47 plus speakers that we have chosen for the Women Thrive Summit. And behind the scenes, we have been going on a journey of self-discovery, connections, networking, and preparing something really amazing and magical for all of you to be in the attendance of these amazing women. So in the Women Thrive Summit, Women Thrive Summit is our annual event, which we initiated during the pandemic, that has been really the turning point from us going from live events to virtual events, and thus creating opportunities for women from all around the world, not only to speak on our stage, but also to impact the lives of so many women all around the world. As for me, I have been on this journey in full commitment to create this amazing community. But my personal story has not always been easy. So through my own journey, I've also struggled with losing my voice, experiencing trauma, experiencing defeat. But time and time again, every time I got up from these defeats, I know there was one thing that kept me going, kept me motivated. That's when I make these decisions to get up and keep going and pushing through, I'm not just doing this for me, but I'm doing for all the other women, paving the way forward. And this is what I want you to embody yourself, being the voice, being the leader. And when you're making a choice, not only making a choice for yourself, but to lead other people with you. Whether you're in business, whether you're in entrepreneurship, whether you're building a platform of your own, leading other people along with you. And what I really love, that when we interviewed all these amazing speakers, we had nearly 1,000 applications to speak on our stage. Over and over again, I had over probably 200 interviews in the span of 6 weeks. And every time I asked these ladies, I said, why are you here? What do you want to get out of the summit for you? They all looked at me and said, Ray, I really want to just make an impact. I just want to impact one life. If my story, my mission can change somebody's life, that's enough for me. So I know that every single woman on this summit has the pure heart and intention to make an impact and support every one of you. During our summit, what you can expect is meeting women from all around the world, but also doing some amazing things. Some women will guide you through some steps in business, entrepreneurship, growing your business, creating profitability. Others may guide you through things like confidence and growing your personal brand and healing through some of your traumas or going through experiences. You get to hear their personal stories of how they overcome perhaps defeat or challenging situations in life, but they have been able to rise and thrive. And this is what this event is all about, creating opportunities for all women to rise and thrive. And I believe together we can create a movement where we can support each other and really grow not only our businesses, but grow as individuals. And even through this journey, the speakers behind the scenes, being on the journey of taking part in just being the speakers, many of them have said, I have grown through this process. So hopefully, as you join this event, you will find women who you resonate with, who you feel inspired by, who you can connect with. Perhaps they might become your friends, they may become your acquaintances, they may become your coaches or mentors, or maybe they just are going to become your cheerleaders, or you may become their cheerleaders. So, who's excited? I want to see you in a chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. I see some other faces coming in. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Guitar. Melissa, good to see you. Cornelia, Deborah, good to see you. So I'm just around the corner from announcing our amazing headline speaker. This incredible woman has been recommended to me by a friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, who has been a speaker on our summit before. And as soon as I met this woman in the social media world, I was taken aback by her commitment, her presence, her incredible heart, and just how authentically she fosters her community and how much she always gives back. So she has been featured in the Women Thrive magazine a few months ago. And this lady really focuses on creating amazing impact through personal branding, visibility, and she has agreed to be our amazing speaker. So today you get to hear her personal story in business and life, and just the impact that she is creating. So I'm very excited to welcome Sonia Zerbatani. Sonia, please come on camera. I would love to have you here.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy we're doing this. How fun is this? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. We're going to have such an absolutely epic moment together. And then we're going to plan the most unreal summit. And I'm super, super humbled and happy to be speaking at it. And today to take some time with each other in this group. And just if I can share just the impact that not only my story, but what your story, like how much it matters and how much, the talk that I will put together for you guys is one where you'll be able to completely take off your mask, completely speak from a space of authenticity, of your truth, of your colors, of your magic. And whether you are a speaker, a coach, whatever that it is in your life, I will absolutely make it my mission to empower you to shine bright. And then I'm going to give you the tools to build a personal brand where you will build community, where you will build super fans, where it will allow you to become the speaker, the coach, the person, the mom, the dad, the whatever you're aligned with, that will empower you to become that and so much more. So does that seem like something that you guys would be into? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Amazing. So let me just hang out with you guys for a bit. I've been coaching and speaking all day. And I want to spend a little time and just give you guys so much value. So how about I get to know you a little bit more? Why don't you hop onto the chat and tell me what it is that you do? Are you a speaker? Are you a coach? Are you a mom? Are you a friend? What is it that you do? Because what you will see is the way that I speak and the way that I coach is I make sure that I tailor it completely to my audience. Mom of two, fellow marketer, amazing. SAG actress, amazing. Visibility coach, wonderful. Coach and speaker, brand strategist, designer for women-owned businesses, love, energy practitioner. See, this is wonderful. So let me, before I, give you some value, how about I tell you a little bit about myself? Because I always believe that you should take, just only take advice and only that from people that you are aligned with. So let's see if our values align, and let's see if, maybe my past and what I do and who I am aligns with you and just resonates with you. And then I could just give you so much value. So just to give you a quick background, I was born in Casablanca in Morocco. My mom had me when I was 20 years old. At the age of 3, I moved from Casablanca to Montreal, and I was always the outcast. I was the kid that, I didn't have the modeling of the perfect, family with, I just didn't really know what that was. I had a great dog. My dog was awesome. And I was always the kid that had a lot of energy, big curly hair. And I just made, since the outside world was not a safe one for me because it just was very insecure for me, I created an inner world where I just became a superhero, where I just became this little kid that was going to dance and that was going to laugh and that was going to be about other people. I've always been unbelievably obsessed with making people happy, with allowing them to just resonate so big. And I love seeing people win. It makes me so happy to see other people win. Like as a speaker, as a coach, as a leader, like to me, it's about growing a community of women that can empower each other, that can stand for each other, that cheer for each other. And I've created a community online, which is the tribe. If you follow me on social media, I have 137,000 followers. I'm extremely active over social media. I have a branding, marketing, social media, and speaking agency where we take the biggest speakers on the planet and we build their entire launch plan from, the messaging all the way to their evergreen and all the way to their big course launches, whether they're online or in person. I just did a big launch in French. I did my 30 days to jouer grand, which is to play big. And we've had an incredible launch, and it's all about everything from mastering your mindset, mastering your body, mastering your relationships, and then your business and your personal brand. So I'm a true holistic, a coach and a speaker that speaks on how to live your best life. I also have a book. And I have, just going back to give you a little bit of background, I was raised in the fashion industry. My dad owned a distribution company. We distributed the best brands in Canada and US. We owned Guess Jeans in Canada, XOXO. I became president of Vince Camuto in Canada, and I would bring in brands, fashion brands, to distribute them all over the Canada and the US. So my background is 100% distribution, marketing, sales, fashion, growth. Until I realized that I was like, okay, this is great. And I'm pretty good at this. And I was making very, very good money. But I was like, it's not it. It's not it. And right after university, I went to Western Ontario, and then my parents got divorced and I moved back to Montreal, took over the family business. And I was like, I'm out of here. Like, I need to figure myself out. Like, I'm like, I get this whole, like, I'm good at this, but I'm like, it wasn't making me shine. Like, I was like, there's more. And I didn't know what that was. And it was hard because, you always feel like you have to be unhappy. I wasn't unhappy. I just wasn't fulfilled. I was like, I just knew there was more. So what I ended up doing is I got scouted to do a show on E in LA, and I was like, I'm out. I'm just gonna move. And when you're like, everyone tells you, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I did it alone, and I moved alone. And I got to LA, and I was like, okay, maybe this is it. Like, maybe I'm like a stage person, because I always loved the stage. So I was like, okay, well, this got to be it. I got this movie deal, and I was like, this isn't it. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, it's not that. I don't know what that is, but it's not this. Like, it's not that. So then I got into personal development. But you have to understand, I was 23 years old. Personal development was not a thing. I got into landmark education because I was messed up. Like, it wasn't this like, ooh, I want to become a coach. Like, nobody was a coach. It wasn't a thing. There's no women speakers. There was men speakers a lot. And it was very business. So there wasn't, I didn't know what that was. And I got into landmark education, and I went, holy shit, this is it. I'm completely messed up. I have no definition of what my ideal relationship is. I was proposed to 3 times, and I was like, well, I'm definitely the problem because I keep saying no. So I was like, maybe I need to check myself out. And I was like, I couldn't figure it out. I was just like, I'm meant for more. I don't know how. And a lot of things were stopping me, and I was making up stories, and so I went deep. Like I went into Landmark, and then I went all the way to Train the Trainer. Then I went to NLP. I did all the Tony Robbins. Like I became relationship coaching. I did every retreat, but not the little cute retreats where it's like you're sightseeing, like where you're deep diving, crying your heart out, going like they break you, right? They break you, and then you're silent. You can't talk to anybody. And then I'm like, I'm broken. Something's wrong with me. And then I realized that I was like, whoa, this is it. Like, this is what I'm meant to do for other people. So everything I had, I invested it in coaching. And then I started speaking on stages. And at the age of 23, I was making $500 an hour on one-on-one coaching and it wasn't a thing, guys. Like now it's a thing. It wasn't a thing. And I was making 10K a speech. And I would speak all over the US, and I started speaking and it took off. And I was the only woman, like I was always men. And my thing was, I want more women on stages with me. I want more women telling their story. I want more women empowering other women to come. Like I'm a girl's girl. Like I don't want to do this alone. I don't want to be the best of, I want all of us to be together. Like that's where I was. So what ended up happening is I did really well, like really well. But it was so interesting because my dad then came to get me, and he was like, you need to come back to Montreal and take over the family business. And he didn't get coach. Like who knew, who got coaching? He's like, what are you, 26 years old? What do you know about coaching? You're 20s, you're a kid. So, and I was like, well, if you want to hire me for my life experience, please don't. But if you want to hire me about the results that I can do in your life, let's rock and roll. I'm your girl. So I really got this, and I really got the stage, and I really got how to shift people into giving them a step-by-step on how they can live their best life. And then it wasn't just like I was on niched in one thing, because if you have the right mindset, it always starts with mindset. We know this, like we know this part, but still bear with me. If you have the right mindset, then I can shift all other areas of your life as well. So I was like, now you can have abundance in your finances. Now you can have an epic business. Now you can build an authentic community. Now you can. So do you see where this went? So obviously that went really nicely. I moved back to Montreal because of, wanting to please my family and doing the things that we need to be doing. But it didn't last me long. I got back into to business, and I was like, no, like, because the problem with Canada, when I moved back, there was no business to be made in coaching. Coaches here were making $80 an hour. I was like, I'd rather sleep than do that. So I was like, there's no coaching business. The stages, they were making like $2K for a speech. And that was like a big thing. I was like, well, this isn't fun. So then, you know what I did is I understood that in fashion, what's going to be the next thing is online. It's all going to be over social media. And I was like, well, let me build my personal brand while I'm running all these fashion brands. And then I will create the community that is going to be around me. And then I will go back to coaching on my super high ticket. And I'm going to do 222. I love you guys. That's so cool, right? Love you. I love that you guys picked that up, right? We're so aligned. We're so here. We're so aligned. And that's what I did. So Soul Sisters, for sure. So what I ended up doing, and I was like, okay, well, no, there isn't a market, but let me create that market. And that's what I did. And I started with group coaching, and I started just with group coaching, and I had such an audience on socials that within 20 minutes it sold out. And this was still like 500. This was like 500 for 4 hours of group coaching, and it sold out in 20 minutes. And I remember I was on a flight to New York, and then I'm like, okay, well, that sold out. Drop another date, sold out. I'm like, drop another date. So from my flight from Montreal to New York, 1 hour, I sold 5 dates, right? So I made about $60,000. Like that was a nice flight. It was fun. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm onto something, right? So that's hence, I'm not trying to take the whole time, but where I really understood is the power of community, the power of your personal brand, the power of impacting and leading by example. And in my socials, for those of you who follow me, like I'll do 100 stories. Like I do so many stories because I take these people through the experience of, like, I take my audience through the experience. They see me on stages, they see me in coachings, they see my team, they see my kids. They are my tribe, they're my community, and they're my friends. So what I hope to, and not hope because that's so low level, I will inspire you and help you to truly build your authentic brand in your colors, in your way, and empower other women and people to really do the same for themselves. So what that will do concretely is that you will feel so in love with your own brand. You'll be completely aligned with your message. You will know what it is that you speak on. You will start creating content that will resonate and that will attract the right community. And you will then, when you're ready, be able to convert your audience into your high ticket, into your speaking, into your courses, into everything that you actually just imagine and need. And where I am now in my life is I've not only built a monster name on the English market, but now I'm tackling the French market, doing launches Paris, Spain, Dubai, everywhere. So unbelievable stages with big, community stages, but I also have a massive corporate community as well that I speak for HSBC, TD, Beachbody, which like I speak for everyone. So what I want to also share with you is becoming a speaker and building your own audience is so powerful, because then you will be able to create content, to create courses, to create evergreens, to create programs, retreats. I do retreats, I do live events, I do like all of that stuff. But what this will allow you is for you to really be able to bring your audience on an experience with you. So that's what I have in mind. This is something that can resonate with you guys. Yes. Yes. Wonderful.
I love it. Ladies, how is that for an amazing introduction? Sonia, I know a lot of people may not be following you from here yet, but I'm sure they are going to follow you. And I'm sure there's going to be one question.
Yes.
How do you do it? Because once you start following Sonia, you're like, oh my God, this woman does everything.
Yes. Well, so how I do it is like it's a big question. That's my Instagram right there. But how I do it is I'm completely in line. I am extremely organized schedule. I have a phenomenal team. I play, I do what I love, and then I get to impact. And I'm a phenomenal mom. I think that the thing that I do the best is I just am so in love with my kids. I have 2 kids, I have 3 stepsons, and I have a wonderful community. And I really, truly I love what I do. I love it. And what I do is who I am. Like, people go, oh my God, you're always working. I'm like, I get to, like, this is work. Like, this is what I'm doing. And now my friend just walked in. I'm going to shoot content. He's flying out to Paris and we're doing a Paris workshop. Like, this is fun. I could do this, People are like, oh my God, you're always working. And I'm like, it's not so bad. Then we're planning a retreat. It's going to be okay. Right. If that's what you love and that's what you can do. But that's why for me, I just love that I can be, yes, it's a lot of energy, but you get to do that. And maybe now you'll get to see other women actually show that we can be a mom. You can be a phenomenal mom. My kids get dropped off at my office. Like, they're here at my office all the time. My kids are at all my events. They've been on stages since they're 3. Like, it's difficult. It's not easy. Let's not pretend like paint this like perfect. Oh my God, it's so tiring. I'm so tired, but my kids are like, they love it. They're with me. They're in this journey, and we get to do that.
Yeah. I love it. And I think, like, for followers and for people who get to experience your journey, we're really experiencing your life, and you really show up from all angles of your life, your family, your fun, moments of laughter. And I truly do believe it's like, if you really love what you do and you just enjoy it fully, your audience get to enjoy that journey with you. And that's just amazing that you take your audience along with you and they want to be part of everything you do. And that's how powerful your community is, because your audience get to experience all of that with you.
And now you guys, we're all together now. Now we're together and we get to do this together and we get to impact together and we get to inspire each other together and we get to create stages, opportunities, where everything for us to come together. I'm into the collective. That's why like literally my community is the tribe. I'm into it. I don't want to do this alone. It's not fun for me. I love to like see each of you shine and give you space to create and to be like your biggest expression of yourself.
Amazing. Sonia, we're so honored for your time and your presence, sharing your story, inspiring us here today. And of course, for being amazing lady as you are, we celebrate you. We can't wait for your talk on the summit. So what is your talk going to be about during the summit?
So my talk is going to be about taking off your mask and building a personal brand that's completely authentic to you so that you can create the community and then convert your community into whatever offers that you have. Would you think that that would be something that would be valuable for you?
We're going to ask our audience. Ladies, we talk a lot about, and we're going to let you go in a moment. We talk about this all the time about wearing masks because we're so used to it. We're out in the world, you know, it's hard to be ourselves, to be so authentic and open and vulnerable because we want to protect ourselves. But I love when you first told me, it's like, take off the mask. Like, Sonia, this is it. This is the one.
Yeah. And it's really what is going to be the most game changer of how, you know, the things that you judge yourself on most is what ends up being your X factor and your superpower. And I'm excited to just like really break through that so that you can actually just start to shine and stop apologizing for who you are because you're fucking epic.
Love it. Let's stop apologizing for who we are. So ladies, do make sure you follow Sonia. We're going to be doing a lot more together in the coming weeks leading up to the summit. There's going to be an official announcement coming out later tonight. But for today, for now, thank you, Sonia. I really appreciate it. And we all just celebrate you and honor you for your time today.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was such a pleasure to meet all of you, and I cannot wait for more together. Have a beautiful, beautiful summit. Bye, guys. I'll see you then.
Thanks, my love. Good to see you. So this was our headline speaker, Sonia, who will be joining our summit on the first day of the summit, which is the 20th of March. And if Shannon would be so kind to share the link to register for your spot, do make sure you are registered because we will be sharing access to our community so you can get connected with other women on this journey. So without further ado, before we delay anything too much, we have some amazing speakers coming up for you who all have incredible stories to share with you. So we'll keep it to 5 minutes per speaker today. And leave comments in the chat as you're hearing their stories if it's resonating, and also connect. So put your Instagram handles in the chat, connect here and now. So I'm excited for our next speaker, who is Sheba Wilson. And she is the best-selling author of the book, Get Up and Lead, that stands for Live Every Day Above Defeat. Sheba is a certified trainer, speaker, coach, and executive director of Maxwell Leadership Team, who has a powerful story of overcoming the unthinkable in her life. So live every day above defeat. Welcome, Sheba. We'll get you in the spotlight in a moment.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Ramonda. I'm just, so inspired after hearing Coach Sonia's story and looking forward to her talk. But I am here today to share a bit about myself with you and to also let you know just a bit about what my talk is going to be on. So I'm a widow and mother of 4 amazing children, 3 daughters and 1 son. I have worked in the human resources space for 12 years. And because of my human resources experience, it really puts me in a position to be able to help others to reach their full potential and to grow their careers. And so because of my life experiences, facing adversity, the loss of my spouse, and then deciding, you know, when you experience something like losing a close relative, a spouse, it really causes you to put purpose into perspective. You have this desire and drive to just not waste any time, to get clear about what your purpose is and to pursue it feverishly. And so when I experienced loss of my spouse, I just really fast-tracked trying to figure out what I am meant to be doing. And so I discovered that I was called to serve women and to inspire, equip, empower, and encourage them to live every day above their circumstances, to live above defeat. And as Ramonda shared, LEAD, the title of my book, Get Up and Lead. LEAD stands for Live Every Day Above Defeat. And that came to me one day as I was walking from my office to the administrative block. And it just came to me because I was toying with a podcast title, and it just dropped in my spirit, LEAD, Live Every Day Above Defeat. And I rushed back to my desk and I wrote that down because I knew that it was divine. And ever since that day in 2020, I have used that not just for my podcast and radio show, but also in the title of my book and in my group coaching programs. So I am big on helping people to gain clarity about what their picture of success is. What is it that you envision for your life? Not society's norm, not what other people say you should be pursuing, not what mom or dad said that you should be, but what is it that you envision for your life? So I take my clients on a journey to help them discover who they truly are, what their strengths are, what their purpose is. And once they have that clarity about what it is that they're meant to be doing, then I help them to map out, create that roadmap for how you're going to actually get there. And then I hold your hand. I'm your guide on the side, your coach who's holding you accountable to take action towards what you truly say you desire. Because let's face it, we can have all the dreams, all the visions, all the plans, but until we begin to take strategic action towards whatever it is we say that we desire, we won't get any results. So it's our action that causes us to achieve those results. So my talk is titled Girl, Get Up and Lead. Girl, get up and lead. So why did I choose Girl, Get Up and Lead? Because of course, this is a women's summit. Women thrive, right? And so you have to get up. Getting up is a verb. It's physical. You have to actually move, right? And so we have to move towards the things that we say we want, despite the naysayers. And I call naysayers those negative Nancys and pull me down Peters, the people who suck the life out of you, drain you, discourage you. They can give you a problem for every solution that you come up with. Those people, those are not your people, right? So we have to get to a place where we drown out the voices, the outside forces, and we just stay focused on what it is that we know that we're meant to be doing, what we know we're called to do, and to serve those that we know we're called to serve, despite what anyone else thinks, right? Despite the challenges that are going to come our way, because we're always going to face challenges. We're going to have seasons where we're constantly in battles and we have to push through those circumstances. And so how do we do that? We do that through grace, giving ourselves grace, because we're going to have some slips and falls along the way, but we dust ourselves off. We know that tomorrow is another day and we keep moving. And then grit. And what is grit? Grit is having the mindset that you're going to grow through the challenges. It is building resilience, stretching your resilience muscles, because resilience is a muscle. You have to stretch it, right? You never know how strong you are until you're put into positions where you have no choice but to exercise strength. So that's where your resilience comes from. And then back to our actions. We have to be intentional about the action that we take, intentional about being consistent, right? Because consistency compounds and it takes us to that destination that we're striving to get to. And then we have to have tenacity. And tenacity is being audaciously bold, right? And sometimes people will not understand your vision. They won't understand what it is you're doing. They will discard you and they will tell you, oh, you're wasting money, you're wasting your time, you will never do it. But you don't have to subscribe to the limiting beliefs of other people. Don't allow them to project their own fears onto you. Stay focused on the vision that you have for your life and push forward with grace and grit. And girl, get up and lead.
Yes, 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 yes. We are celebrating you. Shiva, what amazing talk. How inspiring. What a way to start. Kick off our speakers showcase. Thank you. This is so encouraging. We truly appreciate your voice and your presence on the summit. So how's that, ladies? Make sure you do connect with Shiva. Her links were in the chat. If you feel inspired, please connect with her, and make sure you follow Shiva's podcast as well. When I first heard Shiva's story, I was truly inspired, and just her presence, her voice for me was just like really, really powerful. So I appreciate that. Next up, we have another amazing powerhouse woman, someone's story as well that really, truly inspired me when we first connected. And she's a true warrior woman. So next up, we have Biba Pedron, who's business and mindset expert and a multiple best-selling author in French and English. She received many accolades, namely Excellence in Business Coaching, Entrepreneur of the Year awards, and was featured in Forbes magazine as Women of Influence. So over to the stage is Biba, and her talk is Your Confidence Determines Your Revenue. So Biba, over to you.
Thank you very much, and hi everybody. And oh, do I have? Yeah, I have my mic. Well, thank you very much for introducing me. And the reason why I really like to follow you, and I was really happy to join the summit and all your community, is because you have the same goals, because we want to help women entrepreneurs to actually globally, because global is the word of the year for me. It's global. Everything has to be global. And we want to help them to have more impact. So I'm a business and mindset expert, as you mentioned, I wrote like 8 books, and the last one is actually MDR, the winning formula for successful life. Actually, MDR, it's the equivalence of LOL in French, but MDR for me doesn't mean LOL, and it's mean your motivation plus your determination equal the realization of all of your dreams, even the widest one. So, and it's interesting because it's the same word in English, so that's easy for me. And actually, when I was a little girl, I had a dream. And I always said, as long as I can remember, I always say that I wanted to become an American. So I'm not an American yet, but I'm on my way. And then what's interesting is when I was a little girl, so everybody said, oh, she's cute, she wants to be an American, she wants to move to the United States and everything. But then something that's very interesting is when we grow up, for some reason, the people around us, and mainly the adult, since we're kids, they said at some point, they say, oh, but you won't be able to do it. It was cute when you were a little girl, but now you become a teenager, you become an adult, a young adult, an adult. No, there's no way you can do that. You don't have enough money, you don't have enough education. There's always something missing. And what is interesting is that the funny thing is actually, the more I could hear in my childhood, the more I could hear you can't, or a no, you can't, the more it became a booster. And that's why my life is what it is today, because I actually moved to the United States. I was 40 years old. So what's important, it doesn't matter what you want as long as you really want it, because sometimes we want something, but then obstacles arrive, and then you have 1, 2, 5, 10 obstacles and say, okay, I give up, I don't do it. But when you really, really want something and when it's in your guts, you never give up. So I had the dream as a little girl. I moved at the age of 40, and that's fine. And actually, in order to move to the United States, in 1998, I quit my job in France on the Friday evening and started a business on Monday morning. I didn't know what I will do. I didn't know anybody who was an entrepreneur around me. I didn't know anything about business, but I knew that I had the conviction that it has to succeed, because I knew that 30 days later, I won't have a salary. So I started this business like working 14, 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. And in order to have enough money to at some point be able to go back to New York, because I used to go as a tourist. But then I said, now I want to go and see how I can move there. And during 2000 and 2003, I went back and forth between Paris and New York. And the interesting thing is when in my search, I heard again that it was not possible because I saw 5 immigration lawyers. The first one said I needed $1 million. The second one said I needed 500K to invest in the company. The other one said I needed 100K. The next one said you have to do a fake marriage. I said, but I don't want that. He said, yeah, but that's your only option. And the number 5 say, there's no way your project is way too small. You don't have enough money. You will never get a visa. And again, I didn't listen to them. And each time I hear a no, it's pretty much like, okay, watch me. You will see what happened. And then finally, and luckily for me, number 6 lawyers, number 6 say, I don't know what they told you, but you don't need $1 million or whatever. Your business is not, your project is not too small. You have the money. And 6 months later, I had the visa finally. Today, I'm still not American, but I got my green card just a year ago. So it takes a long time. We'll see. It took me like 20 years to get the green card, but I have it. But what's interesting is that, again, when you really want something, so you have obstacles and obstacles. So as soon as I got the visa, I said, now I'm on an express road. I'm on the highway. This is New York. In 3 to 6 months, I will be rich and famous. Yeah, but within 3 months, I was not rich and famous. And I heard that I had breast cancer. So then again, so now that I was ready to have my new life in New York, I had to ask the question, what I'm doing. Do I stay in New York? Do I go back to France? What do I do? And of course, you have all the family who say, you have to come back to France because we can't take care of you over there. So I made another decision that, okay, I will go back and forth to do the surgery and everything that I had to go. But my life was in New York and I had a project in New York. So I came back, did what I had to do, and then continued the business. And then at some point, 10 years later, when the business was booming, boom, again, the breast cancer came back, but it's just obstacles in life. And again, if you take those just as obstacles, you can do whatever you want in life. And some of my clients are here tonight, and they know that my motto is I do what I want, where I want, with who I want, and when I want, and making sure that money is never an issue. And that's why it's very important to know whatever you want to do. And today, the fact that every no boosts me, and the fact that I don't let anybody tell me, no, you can't, no, you don't have the money or whatever, took me to Miami, from New York to Miami, where I live right now. And I have really the life that I want, and a lifestyle even much more than what I was expecting. And now I live between France, between Miami and the French Caribbean. And that's really what I want to help my clients or people who follow me, and give them that energy first, and then to show them that whatever they want, they can make the decision. Because yes, of course, we don't control our life, but we control our choices and our decision. So on the summit, yeah, I see people like it. And so on the summit, so the word is never give up. In March and during the summit, I will speak about your confidence determining your revenue, and also how to create your own economy, because it's really my mission for me. It's to help women to have the lifestyle that they want, and to do the freedom, not only the financial freedom. This is important, but for me, freedom in general, in every area of your business, it's way more important. And how you can create your own economy, whatever the situation, national, international, recession or not, and then have your business to support exactly the life that you want, the choice that you want, and the lifestyle that you want.
Wow, Viva, yes. Create your own economy. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. So inspiring.
I see Natalie with a lot of these. Thank you, Natalie.
I know, we're just all rooting for each other, and such a great energy today in the room. Everybody just like rooting for each other. That's so beautiful. Ladies, just want to let you know that you can adjust your settings, so you can either see everyone on screen, or you can just watch the speaker at a time. So feel free to adjust. And if you do want to connect with Viva, please go ahead and connect with her on the social media channels or the links posted. And I welcome you all to introduce yourself in a chat and connect with each other. There are so many amazing women who, I think we share some of these values and some of the ethos in this room. And I think it would be so amazing to get connected online. So feel free to drop your social media handles in the chat and make sure the settings is set to everyone. Wow, so many amazing women on this summit, and so many of you, amazing of you ladies who are here to hear these talks. Next up, we have an incredible lady who is ready to take the stage. So we have next up Kristen. So Kristen Lemassa is an energy coach and a founder of Soulful Navigation. Her passion is helping busy people who are exhausted, unfulfilled, and caught in self-improvement cycle to get unstuck and learn to use their energy to create more time, ease, opportunities, vitality, and so they can focus on things that really matter the most. I love a bit of Kristen in my life because her approach to energy is a little bit different than probably what you experienced before. So over to you, my love.
Great. Thank you so much, Ramonda, for that wonderful introduction. So hi, everybody. My name is Kristen Lemaster, and I am so honored to share this space with you and to join these other amazing women on the stage for the Women Thrive Summit. As Ramonda mentioned, I am an energy practitioner, and that was a bit of a mouthful. So if I had to sum it up, I would say I help people solve their problems with energy. But it is more than solving problems in our health and careers and relationships and all of it with our energy. It's about using our energy to awaken this higher consciousness so that we can accelerate our growth and learn to live a spirit-led life. And that's what my talk is about in March. It's actually called Spirit-Led Success. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story because, like a lot of people, and we've already talked about this, my path to a spirit-led life was born out of hardship. And for me, that hardship came when I was a teenager. And I watched a really good friend who was also a teenager suffer and die from cancer. So during my formidable years, I was on the ups and downs of that cancer roller coaster, right? The devastation, the hope, the chemo, the surgeries, the scans, the experimental treatments at the end, and, those endless, uncomfortable hours sitting vigil at his bedside. But it wasn't all struggle. And this is the reason why I wanted to tell this story. Because alongside the suffering was incredible beauty. And there was such clarity and connection and community and humor and inspiration. It was a truly spiritual experience. And there was no separation or duality between all of these things, right? Yes, there was confusion and there was clarity. There was anger and there was love, there was life and there was death, but they weren't separate from each other. They were all woven together into this experience of fullness and oneness. And when I talk about living a spirit-led life, it's this feeling, this clarity of oneness that I'm really thinking about. So again, I'm 17 years old. I'm living in this bubble of oneness, and I kept waiting for his doctors to introduce into his treatment plan what I now know of as energy healing, because I could see it. There's this spiritual aspect that I knew could help him, and I just assumed that everyone else saw it too. When he died, I felt a rubber band just snap inside of me, and I had this realization that almost everyone around me was so disconnected from their spirituality, and they were blind to the true potential of what it could be like to live in our spiritual world. So I'm 17, I'm angry. I disconnected from my own spirituality in that moment as well. And I launched into my 20s. I became a very successful science and engineer. And I loved this because I could live in a world with predictable rules, right? I could ignore my spirit and I could let my analytical mind just be the boss of everything. And I was killing it at adulting. From the outside world, my life looked amazing. but on the inside, I was definitely feeling empty. So here's the thing about when you ignore your spirituality, your spirit will try to get your attention by making things unnecessarily hard and by throwing obstacles in your path. And for me, my challenges came in every aspect of my life, right? I had a host of unexplained chronic physical symptoms, right? Feet pain, infertility, insomnia, anxiety, abdominal pain that nobody could figure out after tens of thousands of dollars of doctor's appointments. Super successful in my corporate career as an engineer. And yet, if you caught me after a glass of wine at happy hour, I would say, my God, this job is sucking the life out of me, right? Hello, knock, knock, Captain Obvious at the door, trying to get my attention. And then also my relationships just became harder. It became harder to connect, and I was becoming withdrawn. And my best friends at that time were the Golden Girls. I spent a lot of time with them. So anyway, when I looked at my life, I realized I didn't have a health issue. I didn't have a career issue. I don't have relationship issues. What I had was a soul ache. And in that moment too, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back to that place where I was as a teenager when I was living in that oneness and that spirituality. So this is where my story gets a little boring because I just dove into the world of energy and I came at it from a science and engineering perspective. And over the last 20 years, I've studied more than 30 different energy modalities, tried and tested everything so that I could find the ones that were powerful, efficient, and repeatable. So, as my business, Soulful Navigation, my mission is to help others learn to live their spirit-led life, because with that comes ease, opportunities, crazy synchronicities. Things will fall into your lap with no effort at all. And the next layer of living your spirit-led life is it opens you up to more time and vitality to focus on what matters most. And when you do that, your ripple effect out into the collective, to the people around you, into your world it's incredible. It's an exponential acceleration of spiritual growth that we can bring to others. And to me, that's like the greatest gift that we could give. So for me, my spirit-led life, I obviously have my dream career because being here right now is a dream come true. I have 2 beautiful kids, and I have soul deep relationships. And when I encounter a challenge in my life, I know I can solve it with my energy, and I usually can figure it out. I mean, there's messy moments, absolutely, but my mission is to save people the time, the money, the frustration, the overwhelm, the loneliness that it took me to really get on my spiritual path. And if I can do that, I will consider my mission complete. So thank you all for listening. Super grateful to be here.
Yes, thank you. We're all clapping here for you. Who felt connected to that? I'm actually in Kristen's program right now and just learning all about the different modalities of energy. And I use her app, Soulful Navigation, quite regularly for meditation. So go ahead and check it out and connect with Kristen if you feel inspired to do so. And look forward to your amazing talk during the summit. Thank you, Kristen.
Great, thanks.
Appreciate it. And I just love seeing your engagement in the chat and introductions. It's really heartwarming to see amazing women from all around the world, from different modalities. And like I said, some people you may connect with deeply and you feel inspired. Others may not exactly be your kind of people, which is fine. We're just here to explore the different conversations and get to know each other as well. So next up, we have a wonderful speaker who's currently based in Dubai. So women are from all around the world. Next up, we have Nina Morar, who is a feminine leadership mentor, women empowerment coach, and speaker. So Nina is empowering women to thrive and live their purpose from soul, aligned, and balanced energy. She is a multi-passionate entrepreneur, bringing vast experience in leadership and mentoring others to success. So Nina, is over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And thank you, Raimonda, for the opportunity. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt different? Like you were adopted in your own family, but you do know that you were not. Because this is how I felt for a long period in my life, that I'm different, that I don't belong, that everybody does things in a specific way and I'm doing things differently. So I felt like something is wrong. Yes, in the end, I felt unaccepted because I knew I was different and I was feeling it to my bones and in every cell of my body. And for years, I fought to be like the rest, to be like everybody, to be the good child. And it never worked because I was somehow fighting with myself and trying to put myself in a box. But that box was never my size or my form. And no matter how hard I tried, I could not fit in that box. And I knew that I was born for something special, that I was not born for a regular life. And I cannot say my life was not good. I mean, I have a happy childhood and then I had a happy life, but it was like linear and boring. And I knew there's something more for me over there. I felt that I have something special, but I could not figure out what it was. And the moment came when I found out what I have special. I was working in a workplace and I joined a group of employees, and they were working on empowering women to fit in a masculine world because it was about women in technology. And that moment, soon enough, I became the leader of that group. And I was there showing up, making an impact, making a change, and empowering women to thrive in a man's world. And then it's when I discovered, this is what I want to do. This is my mission. I want to empower women. I want to inspire them to live the best of their lives and to thrive. So now, today I know that I am here because I want to change the history of the women in my family. And I want to impact the world. And I want to help women all over the world to have an impact and to live their best lives and to connect to their core. Because we as women, we are so powerful. We have so much inside of us, but we are so afraid to come in front, to speak up, or if we come from a masculine energy. And that is not aligned to who we are, to who we came to be in this world. And we are here with a mission. We as women, we need to build a new world. But this world is not about masculine, is not about competition, is not about fight, is not about burnout. This world is about being here, connected to our souls, connected to to other women, and we are here to live with kindness and boldness. And we can do this, but we need to balance our energies, because in this business world, most of us, I mean, okay, we know that most of businessmen are actually men, but also the women in business, we tend to go from our masculine energy. And this is not aligned with who we are. And we can do so much more being aligned to our feminine energy and leading from that.
Whether they're assembling a new kit house, building an extension.
Okay. So I believe it's enough with fighting and non-stop doing, and we should start being. Have you ever wondered how it is to be in your feminine energy? To open yourself to receive, to open yourself to be guided by a higher force, and to just, I don't know, sit, relax. This is what I will be talking about in the Women Thrive Summit on March 21st, about how you can balance your energies so that you live a happy life, and in the same time, you can lead your business aligned with who you truly are as a woman, from your place as a woman in this life and in your relationships and in business. So thank you so much, and can't wait to see you at the Women Thrive Summit.
Yes, thank you. It's all about breaking those cycles and being empowered as a woman. And no matter what space you step in, because I believe that we, especially as women or leaders, we all bring our own unique energy, unique signature, unique qualities, and we don't necessarily have to be all masculine or we all have to be completely feminine. We can balance the two and bring the best of the both worlds. And I do feel that women have some particular amazing skills in leadership. So we still have yet half of the showcase to go. And of course, we are staying for networking at the end. So if you get to join us for networking, that would be amazing. So you can get to network in the smaller groups with your fellow attendees. For the moment, if anyone is joining, do make sure you mute your microphones. So at this stage, I want to welcome you to book your spots for the Women Thrive Summit. If you haven't already booked a spot, whether it's a free ticket, whether you want to grab yourself a front seat and grab yourself a paid ticket and have some extra perks available, head over to womenthrivesummit.com/tickets and grab yourself your ticket, because we have 47 amazing speakers. Today, you're only meeting 10 of them. And during the summit, you get to explore different modalities like business, marketing, visibility, personal branding, healing, energy work, leadership, maybe escaping corporate. There are many amazing talks. Next week, we're going to be releasing our schedule, so you can actually start to pick the talks and choose the talks that you want to attend. But for the moment, grab yourself a ticket. Like I said, whether it's a paid or free ticket. With a free ticket, you get access to the whole summit to attend free of charge and watch it live. So between the 20th and the 24th of March, you get to experience any of the speakers that you choose to attend. We're going to have some networking sessions, some connections as well. With a paid ticket, if you get the first tier of the paid ticket, which is $97, you get access to replay sessions for all the last summits that we have had. So that's the last 3 years of Women Thrive Summits. I think that's nearly 150 hours, I think, of amazing content, inspirational talks, training, resources, some amazing goodies, because each and every one speaker have some digital goodies included in their talks. So once you grab if you grab a $97 ticket, you get access to all of our past summit replays and, of course, this year's summit. At $297, you get special VIP gifts from our speakers and a VIP breakout session. So then you can book one-on-one sessions with some of our speakers, and you can participate in some group breakout sessions with our VIP speakers. So again, you get to have a little bit more access, mentoring, support. You can choose the speakers that you want to engage on a deeper level. And there's a lot of transformation. I just want to warn you, because there is a lot of transformation that is going to happen, but it really comes down to you, how much time and commitment you want to put into this. You don't have to commit your whole week, but I think picking and choosing which topics that you want to attend, which speakers you feel inspired by, and just be part of the movement, because truthfully, I think the transformation does truly happen. And today I want to invite one of our past speakers and our very loyal community members, who's actually also in Dubai, to just share a little testimonial of her experience in the Women Thrive Summit. And I absolutely loved having Jan on our summit last year.
Amazing, Ray. Well, I have come in to literally just support you and give you a shout out, because you absolutely deserve it. I'm Jan, that's Ray Jan. So we are connected by God, clearly, in our names. And I think that's not by accident. We do actually share a lot of values. And it's been, for me, I was a VIP speaker last year. And I just want to say to anybody on this journey now, I'm a journalist, I'm a communications coach. It has absolutely transformed so many areas of my life. I still have today many of the connections that I made last year. I've made lifelong friends. And I think for any of you doing this for the first time, don't underestimate what's going to happen to you. I mean, if you're open to it, and I believe all of you are in a growth mindset, that's why you're here, expect the unexpected. You're not here to do a talk. You're not here to showcase your talents only. I think you've got to realize, I'm a psychologist as well, you're going to have transformation. And I think Ray, if she wasn't doing this, she probably would have been a transformational therapist, because I know in my personal connections with her, on my speaking connections with her, there's always been engagement that has been, number one, raising other females. It's a value that you're going to get in this community. Number two, the idea that everyone is valued in the same way. You've got VIP speakers and you've got people who are speakers, but everyone feels like a VIP. There is no elitism in this community, and it's very rare to get that in business context. For me, I've worked around the world and I've worked globally. My Cambridge University tutors in communications, they were United Nations peace negotiators, and I've worked at government level and with CEOs and refugees. I've seen all kinds of communities, and that sense of safe space, which is my third point. You're in a safe space, and women so need that, regardless of your trauma histories, regardless of your fabulous family comfort zone. We all need safe spaces, and Ray is a master at that. So you're in good hands, and reach out for anything. There is no wrong question. There's no problem that you shouldn't have. Even if you think it's not very important, everything's important if it's meaningful to you. And as a communications coach, I empower women to use their voice to get to their next level. And that's what I want you all to do. Take this opportunity, whether you come back next year, that's not the point. Take the opportunity now to grow with the team around you, use the resources online, offline, your connections, and really see this as a life transformative experience. That is my advice to you. And thank you so much, Ray, for giving me this chance to come back again and for being a part of my life. And we're probably going to be old age pensioners exchanging notes over the fireplace at some point in some history location somewhere. But I'm just so proud to know you and be a part of your world.
Oh, thank you. I had no idea you would show up today, honestly. And sometimes
I have to. It's my duty.
It's amazing. We just, we do make lifelong friends, and Jan, it's been amazing to support you. And, at times you come with a very vocal voice, and sometimes to challenge me. And I said, you know what? I actually really respect that. And I appreciate being challenged, because as a leader for this community, it makes me a better leader. It makes me make sure that people are actually watching what you're doing. People are watching and they're following. And I think it's really important for any environment, you as a woman, to go in and not to be afraid to speak your truth, to ask the questions, to challenge another person, challenge the status quo, ask those questions. I'm all up for that. I'm all up for growth, and I'm all up for being challenged in whatever we do. So Jan, thank you for being that woman on the last summit to challenge me.
Amazing. Please take the floor, and good luck to all of you. And I'm all behind you. If I can do anything for anyone, I'm here for you.
Appreciate that. And Jan has been joining our summits like at crazy hours of the day, because in Dubai, it's like, 1 o'clock in the morning now. So there you are. Thank you so much. So, and next up, who do we have next up? Next up, we have Tammy. And with Tammy, we're actually talking about how to build an award-winning business, and so how to build your business with a business plan, how to empower your business with a business plan, because I do believe that strategy is really important. And who else better than delivering this talk on planning your business than award-winning business and brand strategist and the top 10 business coach, Tammy Drost, with 20+ years experience in business and brand strategy, marketing, and executive work. She also been a creative director and head of operations in agency. And Tammy has her own powerful story of how she started in this line of work. And over to you, Tammy.
Thank you for the fantastic introduction, Raimonda. And I'm proud to be such a part of such an inspiring group of women, each with their own powerful story and journey. As Raimonda said, I'm Tammy Drost, and I spent over 20 years working in agencies, corporate and nonprofit environments. And like many women out there, my journey to success has been a long, winding road filled with a lot of potholes, a few significant detours, and numerous challenges along the way. I happened to grow up in my career during a time when women were tough on other women. They were brutal. Women who fought their way into leadership positions and were in a place to help women, other women often slammed the door in the face of those behind them. They viewed each other as competition, not realizing that there was plenty of room at the table for other women. For me, it was always my male colleagues and supervisors who opened the doors to opportunities, ensured I had a seat at the table, helped me bring my ideas to executives, and provided coaching, mentoring, support, and friendship. I felt the mean girl culture had to change. So I created a corporate women's networking group along with a female colleague, and it was a start. But eventually I was in a leadership position where I could grow other women, so I did. And over the years, I coached and supported many women in achieving their goals. But still, I watched too many women leave their careers at crucial points because they were forced to choose between their careers and family. And many of those women started their businesses out of necessity, but still they struggled and they deserved so much better. As I sat and listened to many of them, I heard so many similarities. How many of you can relate to these statements? My business is running me. I'm exhausted, stressed, and sleep deprived with nothing left to give. I struggle to balance my personal life with business demands. I don't feel comfortable or know how and when to delegate. My life is all work and no play. I'm sick of working through vacations. I'm working reactively versus strategically to keep my head above water. I'm running into challenges as I scale my business, and I'm frustrated with redundant business processes. I feel a disconnect between my business goals and brand strategy, and I have no idea how to market my business. Every woman I spoke with was frustrated and knew there had to be a better way. It was then that I knew it was time for my second inning. So through a 360-degree approach, I spent over 20 years implementing award-winning strategies and solutions for large, complex corporations. And it was now time for me to tailor these solutions to help women entrepreneurs. So in August 2019, I founded the Business 360 Method. It's a business methodology designed to equip female entrepreneurs with the knowledge, strategies, tools, resources, and support to build a strategic and integrated business foundation that gets them down to business and back to living. And while building a business is challenging, not many strong women back down from a challenge, but sometimes even the strongest women face challenges that bring them to their knees in such a way that they struggle to get up. 2 months after starting my business, I lost my youngest son to suicide. He was 25, 2 weeks shy of his 26th birthday. With the holidays fast approaching, I was there the morning he was found, and my world, as I knew it, fell apart. A year later, exactly a year and 1 month later, I survived a horrific assault that left me with numerous injuries, including a broken back. I ended up with PTSD, anxiety, and severe panic attacks. And they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I don't believe that. I think that when strong women go through something so tragic and traumatic that to survive, they often emerge from the ashes as very different women. And during it all, I was a single woman building a business, managing a construction crew, renovating my home, and making a significant move. And through my journey, I realized that life's too short. Nothing told me that more than losing my son. It's too short to spend pursuing things that I'm not passionate about because tomorrow's not guaranteed. So I plan to live the life I deserve today, and I hope you do too. I'm Tammy Drost. I'm the founder and CEO of the Business 360 Method. I hope you join me for my talk, How to Build a Roadmap to Position You and Your Business for Success. Successful entrepreneurs aren't those with better products, services, or programs, or who work harder than everyone else. They're the ones who work smarter. They understand the big picture and have clearly defined objectives with a roadmap to achieve their goals. I'll discuss how to lead from a position of strategy with a plan that keeps you focused on the big picture, positions you to hit your business goals, and allows you to get down to business and back to living. We'll talk about why a roadmap is critical to your business success, how to build one, key elements to include, and how to avoid common mistakes that every single entrepreneur makes. So I hope you choose to invest in you and join me and the beautiful women you see here today as we take the stage at the Women Thrive Summit. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tammy. That was amazing. And just honor your experience and your vulnerability in sharing your story here today. And I'm so sorry to hear about your son. So thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being an amazing and empowering woman for all. For those of you wanting to connect with Tammy, please go ahead and do that. All her links are in the chat to follow, to connect. If anyone, you feel inspired, maybe you feel like someone touched your heart, and perhaps you don't want to do it right here to connect with someone, just follow them on social media, drop them a message, let them know maybe someone touched your heart in a way that you want to have that personal connection with somebody. Feel free, because I know all of these women on the summit, on the stage, in this community are very open to connections, collaborations, supporting you. If you just have a question and it's like, okay, like Tammy, I feel the same frustrations that you just mentioned. What can I do? So you can reach out to any of the ladies that you see today. Right, next up, I have some more amazing speakers that I'm excited to introduce. And these ladies from all around the world, and which is very exciting that you get to hear women's voices from different backgrounds and experiences. So next up, I have Lorna Jane. So Lorna Jane is energy expert, intuitive healer, Reiki master teacher, advanced practitioner, and NLP mindset coach for high-level leaders and healers. And she's been in business for over 9 years and has been certified, and she also certifies others in Reiki training. So Lorna, over to you. So good to see your beautiful face today.
Hello, beautiful ladies. Good evening. I am so excited to be here. Wow, we've had some amazing speakers. I cannot stop grinning tonight. It's just been incredible. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. And if this is the first time that we are connecting, let me just allow myself to introduce myself to you. So I'm an energy expert for high-level leaders, and I help women break old patterns of beliefs, heal their emotional core wounds, and anchor them into a higher energetic frequency for success. And I do that with energetic alignment and activation. Now, I know we have quite a few healers on here already, but if you're new to healing and you're a leader in business, you might be questioning why this is so important right now. Why do we need to heal? Why do we need to activate ourselves? Why do we need to come into a new frequency? And I'm sure so many of you, like me, you've heard of leaders like Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, and we are now entering into this new paradigm, this new wave, this new way of being. Planet Earth is vibrating and consistently moving into a higher frequency. And in order to move through those times, we also have to move. The earth is energy and we are energy. We are multi-dimensional beings. And so many other incredible women have also shared their stories of crumbling. And right now we are all feeling it. There are so many of us. Let me know in the comments if you're feeling this. There are so many of us moving through what I call the shedding phase, the crumbling, where everything seems to be chaotic. We're in this space of the void, the not knowing. There's no certainty. We know that we're not going to be staying where we are now. We know we want to move, but we're not getting the clarity. And that's because we're all going through this awakening. We're all ascending right now, and each and every one of us has this amazing purpose. And in order for us to live our purpose and to share our core mission, we need to be able to activate our energy. And in order to do that, we have to go through the mess. We have to go through the chaos. We have to have the courage and the bravery to step forwards, to go through and actually open up the envelope and look at all of our core wounds, because our old beliefs and our old patterns are not going to support us into a higher elevated state of consciousness. So this is my work, this is my mission. And the reason why I do this and the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I've been there. So as Raimonda said, I've been doing this for 9 years, but I only really started to take this seriously the last 2 years. And I had what you call a universal clout. And it's really a dark night of the soul, as we say in the spiritual terminology, where everything in my life just seemed to close off. I came out of a 9-year relationship. I was working for a corporate company where my staff threatened to poison me. And it was a horrific time. A year later, when I thought I'd overcome that, I then got sacked by a very, very corporate job. And all because my boss was jealous that I got a promotion. And I went through a very, very hard time in my life. I got diagnosed with acute anxiety and stress. I lost the lining of my womb. I had to overcome 2 stages of cancer, and it's been a lot. It has been a lot. And so, you know, fast forward to now, I now have an incredible online business. I'm able to take my business overseas, and I'm sharing all of the amazing skills and the tools that I've learned, implementing lots of different healing modalities, using mindset, using energy work. I'm a psychic as well, so I see energy and I see trauma in people's energetic fields, and I'm just utilizing all of my life experience with my certifications in different healing modalities and sharing that with the world. And so my mission now is to activate women to hold hands together, to really empower you to look at your core wounds, to open up and expose yourself, and to know that we can do this together and we can come together and be united in this circle of light. Because when women come together, there is so much power in numbers. And one of the huge wounds that I am working through right now is actually knowing that we don't have to hide. You know, this process can be incredibly lonely. And for me, I have this huge perfectionism wound. And if I can empower you guys to come together to look at all of these wounds and these limiting beliefs, and to give you some pearls of knowledge that know if we can move through this together and we come out the other side, amazing, magical things happen. So this is the process of personal evolution, raising our consciousness, and it is the incredible, powerful work of energy activation and healing that is the vehicle that's going to get us into this new evolved state. And when we can operate in that new paradigm, we also see massive positive effects that ripple out into our personal life and also into our business as well. And I'm going to be sharing all about this in my talk. Healing is the process to evolution. Energy alignment is the secret tool within your business. And so thank you very much. I hope you can join me there.
Thank you so much. And as Lorna was speaking, something just come to mind. A lot of you are successful women, have achieved amazing things in your lives, and maybe your life is going great. But once in a while, we just experience something that perhaps just hits and breaks on us, or there's some kind of evolution that's happening. I think, you know, sometimes we can be very successful and happy in our lives, and then something just happens. And sometimes we have to go through that mess. And to be transparent, even on this journey, all of our speakers, right? We have our weekly calls, and once in a while we're hit with life problems and transformations, and sometimes there's a sign we've got to do more healing, more work. And something Lorna said this week, actually, she said, don't hide in your wounds, right? Sometimes we're so used to hiding in our wounds and afraid to show our pain because it comes across maybe as weakness, and we don't want to come across as weak. And we just hide in our wounds and our shame of it. And we don't empower ourselves to be truthful and honest to ourselves and perhaps those around us. And we hurt, we stay in our pain, and that's not what we encourage. And I love Lorna's work because she encourages you to bring it forth. And it's okay to go through some things in life, Because if you can lean into the pain and you're not hiding from it, you're not afraid to lean into it, you can work through it. You got to feel the pain in order to grow through it. So that's a little bit of my observation. And just from our conversations, I felt so inspired, Lorna. What a light. So we have another magical, beautiful light in the room. And genuinely, Natalie has been just such an amazing presence in this process so far, and she's been having her own challenges, some health issues earlier this year, but every time she shows up, she just has this beautiful supportive energy, and I'm very excited to have her on now. So Natalie Tedman is certified master coach in self-care, self-love, and mental health based in the UK. Her holistic approach brings clarity, direction, compassionate support for her clients, and through her own experiences and trauma and mental health difficulties, she has really found a way to self-love and self-healing. So welcome, Natalie, our beautiful light, to the showcase.
Oh my goodness, what an introduction. Thank you so much, Raimonda. That was so beautiful. I'm so grateful. Thank you for holding this space and for having me on this experience. It's been amazing. I've just loved connecting with all of these amazing, beautiful, inspiring people. And as you say, I've had my challenges over the last few months, but we overcome them, right? So yeah, it's so lovely to connect with you all. Where are my working mums? Put one in the chat or give me a wave. So perhaps you might be overwhelmed, working really hard, parenting, running a household, 5 kids. Oh my goodness, wow. Kudos to you. Wow, that's amazing. So you definitely must feel overwhelmed at times. Maybe you feel like you haven't got time for yourself. Perhaps you're giving everything to everyone else, but you're feeling unhappy and unfulfilled with your life. Maybe imagine where you feel full of energy, waking up every day feeling positive and in love with your life. Or if you had the time to take care of yourself, to chill out, go for a spa and go and do something you enjoy without feeling guilty. Amazing, yes. So many of us are just doing it all, right? We're just doing. And what would it be like if we could just live a happy and fulfilled life? And so I'm proud to say that I'm now a coach and speaker, and I help overwhelmed working mums battling with their self-worth, self-care and self-love so that they're able to manage their mental health, have better relationships with their loved ones, teach their children how to manage their mental health, and to feel happy and fulfilled, doing the things that you enjoy, making time for yourselves to rise and thrive. But would you believe me if I told you I was never this happy, brave or confident to be in this position? I've had to overcome many of my own mental health difficulties, one of which was PTSD as a result of trauma. I saved my ex-husband's life and I performed CPR when he had a cardiac arrest, at just 28 years old. So I experienced flashbacks of the panic when he had a seizure and realised he'd stopped breathing. I struggled to get his 6'3" limp body onto the floor, his lifeless eyes staring through me and his skin turning blue, and the agonal breaths that happen when someone is close to death. I'm sorry if this triggers anyone that has had a near-death experience. Even though he survived and has a defibrillator fitted in his chest, and we have our beautiful little boy, it was still so traumatic. And years after, I was still fearful it would happen again. If it happened, if he was driving, he could have crashed, or if he was away with friends and I couldn't get to him, or when I couldn't find him at a friend's wedding one day, the immediate panic that came over me, I went into instant fight mode every day. So it affected me significantly. And then later down the line, I was diagnosed with postnatal depression, stress, anxiety and depression, and sadly suicidal ideation, because life had become too overwhelming for me. I was working full time, trying to make sure I was a good mum to my son, husband was always at work, so I didn't have that emotional support that I needed. And just one day I just had enough, and I made very real, clear plans in my head about where, how, and when I would end my life. But now I'm so pleased to say that I've overcome all of this, and what a privilege it is to have been selected as a Women Thrive speaker. And so I just want to show people that it is possible to not only survive, but thrive and find purpose from your trauma and pain. Turn your wounds to wisdom. And I'm just so grateful to still be here. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you at the Women Thrive Summit in March with my talk, How to Get Unstuck as an Overwhelmed Working Mum and on the Pathway to Time and Financial Freedom. It's in my expert opinion, that you and your life will transform when you apply the tools and techniques for self-care and self-love. That's the journey I had to take myself on. I had to teach myself self-care tools, what was going to work to get me through my overwhelm over my anxiety and my deep, deep depression. I had to fight for myself, and I had to fight to survive for my son. And so your kids as well, they're observing everything that you do. They're watching and picking up on your behaviors and your habits. So if we don't make a change now, it's in my core belief that we're actually doing a disservice to our children, and they deserve to become happy adults. So now's the best time to make a change. I was just your typical average mum, but there is something so special in all of us. And I hope for you all to feel inspired and encouraged and empowered to overcome the overwhelm and to rise and thrive. And I can't wait to connect with you and see you at the summit. Thank you so much for listening. Mwah. Thank you for this space. Love it.
Thank you. Did I just say she has this magical presence about her?
Oh, thank you. Mwah. Love you loads.
When she comes into the room, even when she's obviously going through some things, she just lights up the room with this. And that's what I mean. This is so sad to think that one could think about taking their life away when you have such a beautiful presence and such a kind heart. It's really, really unthinkable. So imagine those of you in the room right now, if you don't share your magic, if you don't do your purpose work, if you don't share your story with somebody else, and that person takes that wrong turn in their lives because you didn't show up, because you were too afraid to step into your purpose, because you were too afraid to share your story and empower somebody else. And that is the devastation of us not stepping into our purpose and being too afraid to perhaps pursue our goals, our missions, our purpose in this life. And I encourage you all, no matter how hard it is, no matter how scary it is to put yourself out there or be vulnerable about our stories, don't do the disservice for someone, because Natalie right now, she perhaps saving somebody else's life who has been there and or is in the current situation, who is going through similar situation or trauma or suicidal thoughts. She could save somebody's life. And I'm glad to say she's one of our first-time speakers. And did it come across like she's a first-time speaker? Oh, amazing. So through our community and through our events, we have a 30% of our speaking slots dedicated to first-time speakers. And we encourage first-time speakers for this very reason, because their stories and their message matters so much that we cannot not have these women sharing their stories on a stage like this, because they could be saving somebody's life. And that's why I feel so passionate about women like Natalie and many others who are first-time speakers on our summit, just being vulnerable. And it's not easy. Let me tell you, it's not easy to share our stories in this way. It's scary, it's vulnerable, and it's all those feelings that comes with it. And that's what Jan was saying. You will transform in this process if you're a speaker, but more so you also transform if you're an attendee, which you are here to experience it right now. So next up, we have another amazing lady from New Zealand. So we're traveling into down under right now. Next up, we are meeting Tina Kalea, who is a fempreneur pathfinder. the founder of the Fempreneur Pathfinder, possibility agent, mindset alchemist, and unapologetic wild woman. It is her mission to help female leaders find their voice, break up with limiting beliefs, and connect them back to their feminine essence. So, Tina, over to you. Can't wait to hear your talk today.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And I was literally just having huge heart opening when Raimonda spoke about first-time speakers and finding a voice, and also what Jan shared earlier about this is so much more than just showing up and speaking, because if you have a story, especially that is very personal, putting your name and your face next to that, it's like you summoning your whole story, and it's a healing process to be able to step out and do that. So it's magical. And the other thing that I really superly enjoy is us coming together as women. Every one of you that spoke before me has touched on what the old days used to be like, this bitchiness of trying to outdo one another, the trying to push all the time, not coming back to who we are as women. And I think in leadership, we literally had the guts full of all of that. So my talk title is about corporate rewilding, because that is the process I have gone through. And this is why I call myself a wild woman, because I was always too much, too loud, too big, and a wild girl. I had short hair and rode horses bareback in the forest. So from a very early age on, I tried to tone it down, and I was told you need to be the nice girl, fit in. And as a result of that early conditioning, it has literally impacted all my life on how I showed up. The goals I pursued, the people I dated, the career I chose. I was always very creative. I'm an artist. I'm so many different things, but I went into business because my parents said at the time, you know, go into something in business because you always have a choice on what you want to do. And I enjoyed it for such a long time. I've had travel all around the world. I've worked in the Middle East a lot, in Asia. I'm from Germany originally, and I had to move to New Zealand to break away with all that conditioning, change countries, leave my family behind. And it was a process which I referred to at the time as being accidentally aligned with your true purpose. So once I came to New Zealand, I realized this freedom out of the sudden of not being constricted to who I really wanted to be. And when I entered the corporate world here, unfortunately, my old conditioning did not stay behind in Germany. It caught up with me. So I found myself in male-oriented businesses, manufacturing, automotive industry, and then went into publishing. And it was really good when it was good, because I was traveling to the US, and I remember going on to Times Square on the way to a meeting with Time Warner at like my late 20s, thinking, wow, I have made it, the power suit, the briefcase. But unfortunately, the GFC hit, and advertising was not a pleasant place to be. And because I felt never good enough with who I was, I felt like I had to take it all on. I had to stay in, I had to push, harden up, all that sort of thing. So I refer to that period as I was so far up the yang, I had zero yin. And at the time, I didn't understand what that meant. So in my work, I help women to rekindle that flame of the wild nature that we all have inherently, and come out of that structure in corporate that is so unforgiving for who we are as women. We're designed to be linear, to move, to be joyful and colorful. Yet here we are in a patriarchal structure that can be soul destroying. And rewilding for me means owning your voice first and foremost. It's something that I have struggled with for 3 decades of my life. So for me, being able to speak to all of you when I used to get clammy hands and nervous in a normal boardroom with people every day that I used to work with has been quite the journey over the last few years. And through my martial arts journey, I learned that as a woman, you can be in a male-dominated industry, and karate is certainly a male-dominated sport. But when you move and use your feminine side in something like that, it makes it more holistic, it makes it more aligned, and because you're being yourself. So I absolutely enjoy the topic, and it is my mission to ignite the embers in women that are in corporate careers where they have to be all things to all people, to really come back to self-worth and self-belief, and really putting boundaries in place where they allow themselves to be unapologetically themselves, not just the me time where you barely get a hairdresser's appointment in or a massage, but really having boundaries in place so they can flourish and embrace their womanhood. So I'm super excited about my talk coming up and being amongst all the amazing women that are in this container. Thank you so much, Ramonda.
Yes, I love it. And I love seeing our beautiful faces on the screen for some of our attendees. Alex, it's so good to see just you enjoying some of these talks and participating. Kathy as well, just enjoying, and it's lovely to see your faces. So yeah, feel free to engage. Towards the end, we still got 2 more speakers. Towards the end, we would love to invite you ladies to also share something for those who are attending this event. If you're not on camera, you're more than welcome to join us on camera, just with a little caution that this will be recorded and maybe used for replay purposes. But you're more than welcome to participate in the chat if you don't want to be on camera. But it's just beautiful to see everyone here in this room. As we're not getting to see this, we don't get to do this in live and in person. Hopefully soon we'll get to host these amazing events in person again. So next up, we have Melissa Christopher, who's an international best-selling author, SAG actress, and highly sought-after transformational and visibility coach. Having spent the last 10 years working as a professional actress, Melissa brings a unique perspective to her work by guiding her clients through deep transformation and connection to their authentic selves, helping them achieve inner confidence and shine through on camera. Melissa, over to you.
Oh my God, ladies, I am so honored and grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Ramonda, for that introduction, and just for all of you speakers today. Your stories, I literally have been crying. Just so moved from everybody being so just authentic and powerful. So thank you so much for bringing me to the stage. So I am so excited to share my story with you guys a little bit. So I've been an actress, a SAG actress, for almost 10 years. And, you know, when I started coming into the coaching space, I can't tell you how terrified I was to actually be on camera, to be me, to be seen, to be heard as just myself, not a character, which is really interesting because I've been an actress for so many years. But I think that it's been such a journey for me to realize that why it was so hard for me to show up and to be seen and to be heard and to share my story, even though I always wanted to, there was something deep inside of me that felt called to come to a bigger purpose. So I want to share with you guys a little bit of my life story as to why maybe I had so much fear and how I became a visibility coach, transformational coach. When I was 2 months old, my mom committed suicide, and that left a very deep wound, very big hole in my heart, as you can imagine. And as I moved through my journey, my dad remarried. He had 3 daughters to raise on his own, 3 little girls. And then he remarried to this woman who was my stepmom, and she was extremely abusive to me, physically, mentally, emotionally. You know, really would lock me in closets, all this stuff. So long story short, I have had so much trauma and so much fear to be where I am today, to be here, to talking to you ladies. I'm one of the first time speakers, and I've wanted to be a speaker for so long. And it took me so much bravery, so much work to be here today. But I am so grateful to be with you ladies. And so I decided to do this work through my own journey of overcoming the fear, overcoming the abuse, the trauma, the drug addiction. I became a drug addict for, probably 15 years to deal with the pain, to deal with the trauma of all of the stuff that I couldn't even get through. And at one point in my life, I got to the breaking point. I was either going to die or, make a different choice. And I never went through to rehab, but I was saved, I guess, by asking for help from the divine, from God, from the universe to help me change my life. And long story, that was a huge, huge transformation. It took many, many years, many, many years to get there. But I slowly started arriving into my purpose and sharing my story and being brave. And so I'm so passionate about this work to help women really come into their authentic gifts and their authentic power, because in my own journey, it has been such an amazing transformation. And I've trained as an actress more than anything in my life, anything in the world. So I take my expertise of training and really help women dive into their story, their gold, their power of what it is that they are, what their gifts are, what their truth is, so that they really can drop in and find that confidence. And I'm so, so honored to share my talk with you ladies. It's all about how to stop hiding and really give yourself that confidence so you can show up online, you can create a business and a bigger impact in the world. And it's going to be great. I'm going to be kind of taking in some acting techniques and training and really guide you through a meditation and how to ground into that voice. Thank you guys. And I cannot wait to share that with you. You know, it's been such a journey being on the stage with all of you and just seeing the light that every woman here has brought today. And this is just a tidbit. I cannot wait for the summit. I cannot wait to be a part of it. This is unbelievable. So thank you all so much for being here, for this opportunity, Ramonda. And I look forward to supporting any of you in this journey if you wish to really find that confidence and find, you know, how to make your story your gold and really feel excited about making videos and content, because taking it from me, who was absolutely terrified to do it, now I have become in love with it and I want to share that process with you. So thank you guys so much and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. Clapping for your courage and your vulnerability in this space as well. And thank you all ladies for holding space for such personal and inspiring stories to come through in this space as well. Melissa, where are you based? I know you're in a completely different part of the world as well.
I am in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So in the southwestern kind of region of the United States, next to Arizona and Texas and Utah.
It's always sunny every time I get you on the camera.
Yeah, it's sunny. Actually, right now it's snowing. So that's pretty amazing. But we have a lot of sun here, which I appreciate.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here. And again, you know, so much courage as a first-time speaker to just come on here and share such vulnerable stories and just be like, hey, here I am, take me as I am. And again, Melissa has this beautiful energy about her that she just comes with the whole thing. And Melissa, you have something to show us. I don't want to let you go before you see.
Oh, thank you so much.
We've been talking about this thing about bring your shine, right? And we were talking, Melissa, a couple months ago, and I said, you know, just shine. That's all you got to do. I know you may be afraid to be the first time speaker, but bring your shine. And she said, here's what I have to show you. So show us what you showed me during our conversation.
No, thank you so much.
So show us what you showed me during our conversation when I said to you, you got to shine.
You mean my shoes? Yay! One of my companies is called Bling Bunny, and I really am inspired by people. You know, I lived in so much darkness for so much of my life. I'm not going to start crying, but if I do, I lived in so much darkness for so much of my life. And anyway, a big part of my work is to help men really shine. Thank you for
I'm sorry. Sorry to make you cry.
No, I think it's just a beautiful recognition of how far I've come and how powerful, how much this means to me to help women really shine. So when I do my talk, ladies, I'm going to be wearing these shoes. as Ramonda says, step into your new shoes. So I cannot wait to step into these. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for being so amazing and, being, like I said, so vulnerable. This is a passion work. It just shows how much it means to Melissa to just step into those shoes and shine. And it's just beautiful. So thank you for having this moment with us.
Ray, can I just quickly jump in there quickly?
Yeah, of course.
I need to show some solidarity with Melissa here. I've got mine. Look at mine. Mine are from Dubai. They're pretty shiny. I'm with you, Melissa. I'm on your team.
Yes, thank you.
We're shoe friends forever, clearly.
Yay. Were you wearing those today?
No, it's Nike Jordans usually with the 5 kids.
Thank you for sharing that.
Amazing. I love it. I don't know. I got so emotional. I lost my thread of thought. But here's the thing, we have to go through the darkest moments. And this is when it becomes so magical, when we have overcome some of our darkest moments and we found our shine and how much it really means to us. Because as you can see, sharing our stories is just not easy. And sometimes we have to go so deep and so vulnerable within ourselves and others. But truly, this is how much it means. When you go through the full transformation, you come out on the other side, you're able to be empowered and step into your power as a woman and share your voice. And I know I've been through this experience of empowering myself and starting to speak my truth after a lot of trauma and also difficult situations in life. Don't let any of that hold you back. And what a beautiful transition into our next and final speaker, who has been through her own, thank you, Melissa, who has been through her own dark and difficult times in her life, but also is here to shine her light on you ladies. So Tracy May is the expert in toxic love recovery. She's a love relationship coach, empowering women to break free from toxic love patterns and narcissistic abuse and trauma to finally get love they deserve and have a life full of joy, fun, connection, intimacy, and success. So Tracy, over to you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Tracy May, and Ramonda, I just want to thank you so much for bringing together all of these amazing, powerful women, and how just your leadership and your inspiration really just helps us to bring out the best part of ourselves and helps us to become empowered. And so I am so grateful to be part of this community. It means just the world to me. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you, our guests, for being here. I honor you for taking time out of your day to be here. It's just really feels so amazing to be supported by everyone. And I was just wondering if you know that 1 out of 4 women statistically are abused in their intimate relationships over their lifetime, 25% of us. And that's physical abuse and mainly sexual abuse, rape that's reported, because most abuse is never reported. And so I've been in 3 abusive relationships. And so and none of my relationships did I ever report any kind of abuse. And I was physically abused in one of my relationships. And so I know that statistic is not accurate. I truly believe it's closer to 3 out of 4 women are in abusive relationships over their lifetime. They are either in one or have been in an abusive relationship. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a love and relationship coach, is because I really am very, very passionate about helping women break that cycle. And that's why I'm speaking on breaking the cycle of abuse that's hiding in plain sight, because there's so much abuse that is not talked about, that's not recognized as abuse, right? And a lot of the abuse that I experienced was emotional, verbal, psychological, and a lot of people experience financial abuse, and they also experience physical and sexual abuse, like sexual coercion, being talked into having sex when you don't want to have sex with your husband or your boyfriend. And none of that gets reported. And that's why I truly believe that it's more like 75% of us have experienced abuse, which is really sad, right? Like it makes my heart break when I think of that. And when I hear the stories of my clients, and when I look at my own story of transformation, because my mom was an alcoholic, she was in and out of rehab my whole entire life. My dad left and abandoned us when I was 3. And there's a lot of trauma around that, a lot of trauma around my mom. My stepfather was terrible, raging, abusive alcoholic. He threatened to kill my brother in his sleep. And I witnessed that, and it was so traumatizing. And not only did I witness him abusing my brother and then and his son, who later came along, but also just, you know, I lived in fear. I learned to be very small and invisible and just have no needs so that he wouldn't come at me. So I couldn't be the subject of his abuse, right? And so that's how I learned to show up in my relationships, right? Like just being invisible and not having any needs and trying to get love, right? I just wanted my mom to love me, but she was unavailable. She was never there for me. She couldn't be there for me because of her own wounds. But at the same time, I really needed to know I was lovable. And I never felt like my mom loved me my whole life. And, you know, I couldn't get love, obviously, from my father because he was non-existent. And also my stepfather obviously wasn't going to give love. And so what we learn in our childhood from 0 to 6, especially, is we learn how to have our relationships. And those decisions are made, like we develop coping mechanisms to be able to survive that environment, right? I didn't learn how to live and be a healthy young child. I learned to survive. I learned coping mechanisms. And so many of us live like that, but it's normal to us. We don't realize there's anything that's unhealthy about it. And since what we learn from 0 to 6 is basically just ingrained into our subconscious, it's like becomes part of us. It's like everyday stuff. Like when I tell people my story, people are like, oh my God. But to me, it's like, oh, it's no big deal because I went through that. It doesn't seem like anything abnormal because I didn't know it wasn't normal, right? I mean, I knew it was in a way because other families weren't like that, but I didn't really know it. And so what I learned in my childhood was love hurts and love is not safe. And so that subconscious programming was ingrained in me, and that gets ingrained in all of us when we come from dysfunctional families. And like I said, I don't know if I did say this, but 70 to 80% of us have been in dysfunctional family environments growing up. And so we learn these very toxic ways to be in relationships. And so what I learned was to let people, treat me bad. Like the very people who are supposed to be teaching me how to not tolerate abuse, not to be abused, were the very people who were abusing me. And so I didn't learn that life skill. A lot of us don't learn that life skill to be able to walk away from someone who's abusing us. What we learn is to try to fix them, to try to get them to love us, to gauge their mood and walk on eggshells and try to avoid all the abuse and try to figure out how to fix things. And we become very codependent and very outwardly focused and very people-pleasing instead of staying within ourselves. And so these patterns that we develop, our subconscious runs 95% of our life. So you can imagine you go out to have relationships as an adult, not knowing that you've learned all these ways of not having a healthy relationship. And we get into relationships and we only know how to have relationships on the level that we're wounded at. And so really working on healing the subconscious programming, the beliefs, and all the ways that we've learned to, be in relationships that doesn't work for us. And then the other part of that is that it shows up in our business because we're so busy focusing on this person that we're in a relationship with that we go into our business and then we're not really able to show up at 100% because we're ruminating about what happened the day before, the night before, or we're thinking about how can I fix my marriage, or should I stay or should I go? And so we're just really not giving our business 100% because we don't have 100% to give. We're sucked into all of this. And so my talk is all about discovering the toxic patterns to be able to tell if you are in a toxic pattern with someone, the secrets to break the cycle and reclaiming your power. And abuse can be emotional, verbal, psychological, financial, physical, sexual, even spiritual. There's all kinds of abuse that we can experience, but we don't always know that we're experiencing it. Like for me, my third toxic relationship, abusive relationship, I was married for almost 25 years. And for the longest time, I didn't even realize he was abusing me because I thought his anger was like sporadic, right? It wasn't every day, but I didn't realize how much it was just really taking away my spirit, getting me like I was broken when I finally decided I hit rock bottom. I was thinking about ways to commit suicide so that my kids wouldn't notice that it was suicide, because I didn't want to leave them with that trauma that their mom committed suicide, but I really wanted out of my life because I couldn't find a way to fix our relationship. And I was so fixated on fixing it that I couldn't see the truth, which was this person is abusing me all the time and I need to get away from him. And so I am so excited to share some more of my journey during my talk, and also just skills and just the secrets to really breaking free from those life patterns, our subconscious beliefs and our programming and the toxic patterns that really keep us stuck in relationships for a really long time and not knowing why we can't get out, right? Because so many times I thought I need to leave, but I couldn't because I was stuck in those old beliefs. And so just thank you so much for this opportunity. And I can't wait for the summit because this is just like a dream come true. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. Beautiful share. Thank you again for being so vulnerable. And no woman should ever experience such experiences that you have had to go through from your childhood. And it just shows us how much a childhood can impact our world further down the line, and how much we can go through by no means of our own, by no fault of our own. We're coming to this world and here we are, subjected to all of these things. And if any of you are going through or have gone through any of the traumas and difficult situations, I just want to say you're not alone. And you don't have to be alone on this journey. And what you've heard today from other women, that they have experienced some really traumatic and difficult situations. And I'm sorry if any of the stories have perhaps triggered you or just brought you back some stories or memories of your own. But this space is all about creating a safe space, a safe environment for all of us to share and to be empowered, because by sharing these kind of stories, we're actually shining the light on the problems and issues and raising awareness, because there was a time in our lives where we didn't have internet. We weren't being able to speak up about these things. We were told to stay quiet, right? And if we see what has been going on in Turkey about women not having the freedom to speak up and not having the freedom to share, my apologies, in different parts of the world where women don't have the voice and the freedom to speak, right? And we are lucky to be in a liberal environment where we're able to speak our truth and share and shine a light and actually make a change, make a difference. For me, in the next, this is my commitment in my life, but in the next 6 weeks, I am encouraging our speakers and all of our community to share our voice, to speak up for the things that matter to us, because there are so many too important things for us to be quiet about. There are so many things that we need to start speaking up about and making a difference, making a change. If it's not you who else is it going to be? If you don't step into your power and your purpose right now, who else is it going to be doing this work? It's far too important. This work is so far too important. And if we look at around leadership, around the world, the leadership structures are broken. What does that mean? This is a unique opportunity for women to step into our leadership, for us to step into our power, to have a voice, to be empowered. And you know what? We don't have to do it on our own. We rise together. You have a community, you have support, you have fellow women who feel the same way, who feel just as passionate, who've been through just as many challenges as maybe you have been. There's support. So if you have an important enough message, or if you want to speak up and make your voice heard, make your passion and purpose and thought leadership heard, please reach out. Email us, just say, hey, we've got to initiate this conversation on your summit, in the next event. Let's speak about it. Let's write an article. We have a magazine. We founded the Women Thrive magazine for that purpose. So every woman's story is heard. So we can spotlight women's stories, so we can create our own structure. So we don't have to rely on the structures that were built for us. That isn't serving us. It isn't serving our best interests and our best purpose. Because as you've seen, these women are wild women. These women have taken control back of their lives through abuse, through being shut down, through going through so many things in their lives. They have self-empowered, and I want the same thing. I want you to self-empower, to know that you can speak up and make a difference in this world. And there are platforms who will support that, support your voice, will be validating what you have to say. Because a lot of times when you're trying to get your voice and your message out in a bigger world, in the media world, it sounds like nobody cares. That's what it feels like. Nobody wants to hear your message. So where do you go? Which rooftops do you need to shout from in order to make a difference? But here it is, we're doing this together. And the more I see these women rise, the more I know we can create impact together, right? But we've got to be doing this work together. And it's not about women going against men or no women going against society, but building much more meaningful, powerful, sustainable way of life, business, being, creating self-awareness, creating confidence, creating better leaders that are driven by their passion, their purpose, the right ethics and values that you're driving your own communities, your own families, your own lives, your businesses, and you're doing the right things that will make a difference. Why are you here? I want to ask you today, why are you here? Not just in this space today, but why are you here? Why have you been brought into this world? You have been brought into this world to leave your mark on this world, to leave your print, your footprint. So when you're gone at some stage, your legacy moves on. Your story moves on. So your kids, your grandkids can tell your story and say, Mama was that woman. She was that powerhouse. She was the one that stood up and spoke up. She was not afraid. And you know what? Inside, you may have that fear. Maybe nobody's going to hear me. Maybe somebody's going to shut me down. But we have to stand in our courage and our truth. That's the only thing we have. I've just finished writing a chapter for a book that's coming out 28th of February. And I was going through my chapter, I wrote this chapter, and there was my own story of leaving my last chapter behind and starting a new one, going through painful, difficult situations in my relationship. And I had to be honest and vulnerable. And honestly, I wrote this chapter and I nearly scrapped it. And I waited till the very last minute to do the final submission because I was so afraid that, there will be something, consequences of me sharing it. Will people understand it? Will people judge me? Does it even matter? But it reminded me, when I was writing this chapter, it reminded me of a moment when I made a change in my life, when I saw my stuff at the back of the car and I knew I was starting a new chapter. I knew I was starting that new chapter and walking away from my own toxic relationship, not because for me, because I was in a bad place. But when I was doing it, I said to myself, there's so much more to this decision. I am doing it for all the other women, for all the other women who are stuck in toxic, narcissistic relationships, who are held back, who have been taken their voice or their power away, and they currently believe that they have to be stuck in this place. That's why I'm doing it. And after I have had to go through my 6 months of healing to get through all the mess that come with it, when I rose up, everything started to make sense. Why I've built this community, why I do the work that I do, why I attract the kind of women that I attract, it started to make sense. And it started to make sense that I have to keep walking in my truth, my purpose, and have the courage. Because without that courage to share our truth, like I nearly chickened out by completing my own chapter in my own book, I nearly chickened out. But I had to keep reminding myself, Ray, this isn't about you. This isn't about you. And it isn't about the person who did some things to you. No, it's about the women who's going to be reading my story or hearing my story on stage and say, I have to do this too. I have to make this leap. I have to make a change and make a difference in this world. And I have to have the courage, because through your courage, we can change the world. And it's just been an honor and pleasure to have all of you in this space today. Thank you for holding space for all the other women to share their truth and their personal and vulnerable stories. What I'd love to invite you, I'd love to invite you to share something. If you want to unmute, if something has touched you today, if you feel like I have to speak up, this is my moment to speak. I would love to open the microphone and the stage for any of you ladies who would love to share anything.
Ray, I'd like to share something very quickly. I went through a professional presenter training recently by an award-winning professional trainer who's one of the best in the world at what he does. And it was interesting. He was asking us to introduce ourselves and what do we do? And I explained to the group that I'm a trained actress, I'm a journalist, I'm a psychologist, I've done a personal training diploma, I'm a mother of 5, I'm an expat wife that moves around the world. I have my own company, I'm a CEO as well now, and a number of other things. I'm not going to bore you with the details, Cambridge University, multiple degrees, it's all there. And you know what he told me? He said, Jan, nobody wants to hear all of that. Just keep it simple. And I was like, oh my, am I being shut down here? Am I shining a bit too bright? The last business coach I had, he actually told me in a personal email that I'm threatening his community. I'm being too involved in helping others on his platform. Now, what does that tell you? With all of the world's progress in our rights and the movement of women and our empowerment, us being able to show up truly in our diversity, in all of our interests, in all of our spectrum of talents, it really isn't really that welcome, is it? Nobody really wants you to be everything to everyone and that competent and that capable. And yeah, you can have your moments of falling over, but we get up and we help each other to get up. And I think why I'm actually going to say all of that, of what I am, is to give permission to others to say you can be all of that, and you could be something else next week, and you could be something else next year. And as long as you're alive, you keep going. And nobody tells you what you are, and nobody tells you when you can be that, and nobody tells you you're only supposed to be that, because that's your profession, and that's the degree you took. And you're supposed to follow that, because that's what you're trained to do, and you honor the privilege you have of that. But I decided, no, I don't want to. I think I want to do something else. And give yourself permission to evolve, and you don't have to be stuck in anything, psychologically, emotionally, or physically. That is my message to you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. Tammy, would love to hear from you.
I just think that as women, many of us have some powerful stories. You know, let's face it, we didn't all grow up with perfect childhoods. We didn't grow up with perfect parents. Some of us grew up, you know, with significant child abuse, but it formed the women who we are today. All the challenges that we've had to overcome, everything that was put in our path, every roadblock that's been there, has formed the women that we've become and where we are today, and has brought us to this point. And I think that we as women are learning that we don't have to feel threatened by other women, and we don't have to be competitive. We can create a sisterhood. So I think that what you're doing, Raimonda, is amazing. And I would love to see more and more women come out and start telling their stories and supporting one another.
Thank you. Thank you for that message of women supporting each other. Just seeing that, honestly, it warms my heart so, so much. And we all deserve that. We deserve that. Why not? I'd love to ask Kathy if you would like to share anything. I love seeing your reactions and your participation.
I'm listening with my 2 ears. I'm really very happy to be here tonight, to be able to see so many women all over the world with nice stories telling. It's really very impressive for me. And I really thank you for your trust. It's very impressive for me. Thank you.
Appreciate that. We appreciate your participation. Just, you know, I love seeing our audience just going through their own emotions and their own experience. This is what events are, for you to experience it. And I always say, when we work with the speakers, I say, the audience need to experience you.
Yeah.
So I hope today's experience has been beautiful for you, Kathy.
Oh, yes, it is. It has been. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would anybody else who might not be on camera but would love to perhaps come on and share anything that you may have experienced today, what you always highlight, or anything that you want to share, even in the comments? I would love to open the stage for you.
I would like to, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Shannon.
So I will try very hard not to tear up, but I just went through quite a lot of what I've heard today. Drove across country, left a very abusive relationship. Inspired by Raimonda. And so many of you women. I took my son, okay, he's 29, so he's like an adult, but I brought him with me and starting over again. And I want everybody on this call to know that your courage in sharing what you have is what gave me strength too. I come across as this very strong, non-fragile person. I hide the fragility all the time because I don't want people to see that that's a weakness. But I will say to you all that I have to thank you. Working on this event with Raimonda and listening to each one of you has been truly a life-changing occurrence for me. So I want to thank you all very much. Now I'll stop crying.
Oh, Shannon, thank you. So Shannon is one of our team. She's one of the main ladies behind the project management of the summit, and she's been through incredible journey last few weeks, last few months, and has, yeah, as she said, taken her own life across country, moved to a new place, and just last weekend been in a hospital with a broken leg. So she started a new life with a broken leg, unfortunately. But
It's a broken femur. So my apartments did not safely provide us a means to walk on our sidewalk. So I slipped on ice, broke my femur, had surgery on Friday, and back home now. So as I like to say it, and Ray has heard it probably so many times she could say it in her sleep. My bone may be broken, but my fingers and my mouth and my brain work just fine. So we are all here to support every one of you. And I think it's important that every one of you do truly understand what your courage means to just the lay person and why it's so important that you all are a part of this. And Jan, I want to thank you too. Your story is phenomenal. Like everybody's story is absolutely beautiful and phenomenal. And I tend to ramble, so I'm going to shut my mouth now and just leave it with thank you.
Shanna, we're here to love you, support you, and take you through the transformation. Before you took this leap, I said, Shannon, I can't wait to see you through your darkest moments right now and support your transformation, because you're the one working so closely in the summit, and you get to hear all of these stories, but actually you're going through your own transformation and healing journey right now. And being inspired by, thank you for saying you've been inspired by me. I've always encouraged you to love yourself and just take this leap.
Gosh, Ray, I've known you for a couple of years now, and you have done nothing but be transparent with me. You have told me things that I may not have wanted to hear at the moment, but then I relook at it and I think about it and I'm like, you know what? She's not being saucy. She's telling me what I need to hear. And sometimes it takes a good person. Oh my God, the baby. Sometimes it takes somebody to just say, I love you, and I love you enough to say this to you.
Thank you.
And if anybody is even contemplating not reading this book, I was honored to read a little tidbit of Raymonda's chapter. You all will walk away with, tears. You'll walk away with inspiration, strength. You'll walk away knowing that part of what she discovered, part of what she went through, sits in all of us. It's an amazing read. Truly amazing read.
Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. Truly appreciate it. As my first reader, that's a positive comment. After your comments, was like, okay, maybe I can press send now.
Oh, I had some fun. I was like doing my grammatical proofreading. Okay, this word uses. But I read it every day now because it's just something that keeps me going. And I just remind myself by reading it. So it's a really great read, y'all.
Thank you. So this is our collaborative book. So we have 8 amazing authors who are sharing their mini chapters in this book called Women Thrive, Inspiring True Stories of Women Overcoming Adversity. So we're going to have a similar event like we are today on the 25th of February. So this is going to be featuring 7 of our authors, including myself. In this beautiful book, this is our first time we're doing a collaborative book within the Women Thrive, and hoping to make these series of books for women who wanting to also write their stories. I know I have taken a while to write my own book, but writing a chapter has felt like, okay, this is feasible. This is something we can do. And I invited some of our community members to also participate in this collaborative book, which has been amazing. So the launch event is 25th on a Saturday, similar time as this. So if you would like to participate, you're more than welcome. We'll be giving you little snippets of our stories as well and celebrating the launch of the book, and the book coming out on the 28th of February, just in time for Women's History Month in March. And the whole March, we're going to be celebrating. We're going to be doing a lot of these amazing panels and conversations and mini events, and leading up to the Women Thrive Summit, which is our annual women empowerment event. This is where we actually spend the last 6 months. We spent 6 months to produce this event. So this is what you get to experience in March. Hello to Bonnie and our beautiful little baby girl. Good to see you. Would you like to share anything?
Hi, I'm glad to be part of this group today. This is my grandson. I was just giving my daughter a massage. So yeah, I'm very inspired by all of your stories. Every one of them touched my heart deeply, and I've experienced mostly all of what you've been going through as well. So it really helps me to know that I'm not alone in my feelings and my thoughts and struggles. And being a single mom for 15 years, now I'm blessed with my grandson, and oh, so nice to have baby love again. Yeah. I've been wanting to share my story for a while. I just haven't had the courage to step up to the plate. I believe strongly that by sharing, we can all heal together for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we hope to see you on the summit, as well as maybe one day share your story on our stage or within our community. I'm thinking about starting doing these sort of showcases, but actually inviting you ladies to speak on our stage on a monthly basis. So just to create a safe space, even if you're not a speaker on our summit, but just to create a safe space for all of us to share our own stories. So that's something we're looking to create.
Definitely need some sense of community. We're all longing for it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here, Bonnie. And I've read your comments earlier, and I was like, it warms my heart knowing that you feel not alone in your feelings.
Right. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing.
Gorgeous. Thank you. Anybody else who would like to share anything before we usually do networking? Hi, go ahead, Viva.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, the reason why I really connect with what you do is because, as you know, I do the same thing in French. And it's because a lot of I came back when Tracy was sharing her story, and it's brought me back that 20 years ago, one of my boyfriends tried to stab me, but I tried to put that behind my head. It's not, I mentioned in the book, but we don't try to remember those things, but it's important that creating those environment and those community of women, because some of us are maybe more stronger to resist to what happened in our life. And it's very important that some women, they don't have the right entourage, they don't have to have the right environment to share the story, as just Bonnie said, or to be strong enough to say the story and what's they learn from it. And that's in that kind of community that we can help. And doing those kind of community, we can bring a lot more women to understand that we're here to help them, and we give them like a very safe place to tell whatever they have to say. And I said in my club also, I said, when we do events, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna have fun, but we're gonna cry also. And it's okay, because that's part of life. And then I noticed that when I mentioned to the woman, when I do events, and I remember the last lunch I did in Paris, I said, tell us your personal story also. We women entrepreneur, of course, you come from marketing, you come to me for that kind of thing, but tell you, if you have a personal problem and you're okay to tell it, or you have an emotional problem, we are here for that. And that's when the woman allow them to have the tears. And then when they allow them to have the tears, then you realize that within few days, they have more energy. They may not solve the whole problem, but it's come better. And also the books, actually, you were speaking about the books. I'm working on the second collaborative book that I'm doing also. And Kathy, we just spoke, will be in the book for the first time in a book. And that's also another place where we can help women to share their story. And as I mentioned at the beginning in my presentation, impact is very important. So if each others bring an impact in one woman with all of these communities, that definitely we can help a lot. And I think that the world in general needs us right now. So the more we do it, the more we help women.
Thank you, Biba, and congratulations on your amazing work. Kathy, congratulations on your chapter. Wow.
Thank you.
Amazing. How does it feel to be writing and sharing your story?
I will start to write it next week. So we have our first meeting tomorrow evening. So I will start next week. I will let you know by the end of March how I'm feeling.
I look forward to it. I'm telling you,
But
it is a journey.
I'm confident with Biba, so she's
Good.
writing.
Good. She's a fantastic leader. Good. I'm so excited for you. And just everyone who wanting to share their story, just know there will be, it's such a healing process. It comes with a lot of emotions, whether you're speaking, writing, or doing anything. In terms of sharing your story, it comes with a lot of emotions. It comes with healing. It comes with self-doubt. It comes with fear. And you go through all of those stages of it. And then eventually you just have to say, I gotta have this courage to do this. And that's the only way we're gonna make a change. And then you step into your power and you become this beautiful butterfly. And it becomes worth it. Okay, unless you guys want to go networking, I am happy to close us out for tonight. I know we overrun by a good half hour today because we were having so much fun, and I've seen you ladies having just a great time today. But if you guys want, ladies, want to stay and do some networking, you're more than welcome. Other than that, we would love to close it out and just say thank you all so much for your participation. The next speaker showcase, I believe, is on the 9th of March. So we will send you an email. We will remind you about just any things that's happening within the community. If you have a story you want to contribute, Women Thrive magazine is there, and some amazing, inspiring stories. We will be hosting more of these showcases, one more showcase before the actual event in March. We might be hosting some panels where we get to kind of have Q&A with some of the speakers. And then moving forward, we're going to have monthly sessions like this where we invite our audience to actually share their stories, because I think it's just so important that we keep having this space for women to share, whether you are a speaker on our summit or not. Obviously, we're doing this because we want you to experience what it's like to be part of a summit, part of a community, part of hearing stories like that, and give you just a sneak peek into what the actual event that we've been working on for the last 6 months will look like. And Bonnie, you're just absolutely teasing us with that gorgeous baby. Oh, hi, Mama. To meet you.
Oh, he's just starting to goo. I thought I should share some baby love because I know how much it helps me. Good, best therapy, right?
Don't you want to just take those cheeks and pinch them? What is his name?
Vincent.
Vincent. Oh, he's so beautiful.
It's my daughter Harley and baby Vincent.
Hi, Harley and Vincent.
Thank you, guys. I thought it would help to uplift you, warm your hearts, to show some baby love.
Aww. My daughter is due any day now with a third boy, and his name will be Stormy. I don't know where she comes up with these names.
Big Stormy. Oh, that's
We
nice.
have Asher, Ryder, and Stormy.
Oh, Nice.
She always has to go out on, you know, a ledge and do something different. I was saying, could you just like name him Austin or something?
Yeah, I hope our next generation will be much more healed through our own inner work. And, you know, we're breaking some patterns, we're making some changes in this life. And hopefully our kids and grandkids don't have to go through some of the challenges and experiences we've had to go through in life. So. Ladies, all right, I want to honor your time and your participation and don't take any more of your evening or afternoon today. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to our speakers for being so amazing today. For anyone who have shared anything, spoken, it's an honor. It's honestly an honor to lead so many amazing women and create this space for everyone to be themselves. More than anything, I just want you to shine your light the way you are and be yourself. That's the most important part. And I want to honor everyone who enters this space to be themselves and truly shine their own light and share their vulnerable and authentic stories and be themselves. So thank you for tonight. I look forward to seeing you on another event. Appreciate you all. And it's always hard to say bye, but we have to love you and leave you. Thank you, ladies. Have a beautiful night.
Bye-bye. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day, ladies.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you, everyone. So lovely to be here. Wow. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks,
Night.
Nat. So proud of you. Bye.